Latafa's Musamam Black Intense and Lattafa Dalal. So last week they had this Latafa sale with Daniel Renee and Stephen Redolescence and several other influencers, and this was talked about immensely, mainly because it has a unique proprietary note called Cocoa Pulse that only Lattafa has access to. So the way they described it is like a milky, creamy, woody type of scent, but very masculine. So I snagged it and actually at a very, very good price for both of these. So what's probably going to happen, because Latafa is, I have more Latafa inspos. Of the inspirational houses, I have Latafa more than any other house, but my experience with them has been that it requires some time to mature. I'm going to give this a first impression, and then I'm thinking I'm going to let it sit for a week or two and then come back to it. But here's the packaging. And I certainly appreciate good presentation. Historically, fragrance houses didn't really do this. It was in a very simple box. It was a very simple bottle. Presentation was really not thought of. So, I mean, it looks really nice. Bottle. Spray. Tester. So it's actually a really well-designed bottle. And what I can tell you, picking it up in the air, when I first sprayed it, I don't detect milky so much. It's sweet. It's not really a dark fragrance. There is the woodiness to it. But this does remind me of something. I feel like I've smelled something like this before. This is supposed to be an original creation, an original recipe by Latafa. But this smells familiar, but I can't quite place it. But that cocoa pulse, maybe that's the familiarity. There's that cocoa butter-ish type of scent. Cocoa. You want to put the notes somewhere here. This smells good. It's actually really good. I don't know if I would call it milky. I think it would be creamy. Creamy woody. If this is an original creation, this is really good. It gives me that Thierry Mugler Amen vibe, at least one of the flankers of the Amen line, but it's better, richer, creamier, woodier, but very well blended. All right, I'm gonna try this on skin. Creamy, not so much milky, at least not that heavy lactonic. Creamy, but not thick creamy. If this is Cocoa Pulse though, this is really good. This is a unisex fragrance. What will change over time, I think, is more of the performance, roundedness. It's not a very heavy scent in terms of it's not projecting. Like this almost makes me think that if Blue Talisman was more vanillic, was more cocoa-ish, it's like a creamy, cocoa, woody Blue Talisman. I'm just putting out there. Scent profile-wise, I'm actually really liking it. Regarding performance though, I'm gonna have to let it do its thing. Latafa has gotten better with regards to releasing things that require less maturation. However, they still require some time. When I got Lattafa Dynasty, initially when I got it, it just didn't push. It wasn't strong. It was vague in terms of scent, but then I came back to it after a month, and then it came out. The Dynasty that I smelled at the Lattafa event was well maturated. It was richer. I could smell it. I put them on my hand. It was one of those ones I took, and I was able to smell it. When I bought the bottle brand new, I couldn't get that scent. So this is Musamam Black Intense. Scent profile so far, I'm giving it an A. It's really good. Performance, I'm just gonna have to wait. Now, one of my goals eventually one day is to focus on just feminine, strong feminine leading fragrances, not even the unisex ones. I want to one day buy, if not the originals, the inspos of all the top women's fragrances, the top 10 women's fragrances, and just rank them and give my opinion. Because when I was doing my fragrance journey all those years, I was focusing only on men's fragrances and partially unisex fragrances. Didn't really do anything for women's fragrances, but I want to change that, and I'd like to give my feedback. This is Lattafa's Dalal, which is, I think, a inspo of Paco Rabanne's 1 Million for Women. Now, okay, presentation, very nice. I'm going to gently put this over here. Bottle is really pretty. So, bottle. This set was actually chosen by Daniel Rene, and he's one of the influencers that I follow, and I trust his taste and his presentation. It's very entertaining. Spray. It's sweet. Esther? That is delightful. It's clean. I think there's some fruit in here. Like, I'll put the notes up here, but this is a very, what's the word? What's the phrase? Compliment getting, appealing women's fragrance. It's not old lady, fortunately. It's fruit forward, but slightly musky. Maybe there might be some vanilla in here. That kind of reminds me of Herba Pura, but not so heavy on the fruit. I don't know what notes are in here. There's something citrusy but fruity about it. This isn't really a mature, at least not old mature. This is a youthful fragrance. Late teens, early to mid 20s. If a woman wore this, and one of the things about me is fragrance is my kryptonite. God, this smells amazing. This smells really good. I think this is one of those things you can wear year round. Maybe this is like the equivalent of a blue fragrance for women. I haven't gotten into the ladies' fragrances, unfortunately. I do know, however, if I like the fragrance or not. I have smelled bad perfume on women, and I've smelled really good perfume on women. This is very attractive. Like, if a woman wore this, I would just want to cuddle up with her. Not necessarily like a sexy fragrance, it's just an inviting fragrance. You just want to smell her and bring her closer to you. Scent profile, this is an A+. But what do I know? I don't know as much about women's fragrances. But in my opinion, ladies, this is a banger. It's fruity, not too fruity. It's not like a fruit bomb, not like Herba Pura. But it's there. There's like a fruit-ishness about it. I don't know what that fruit is. Can't quite place it. Oh, like a Honeycrisp apple. Like that's kind of what it gives me. Is that tartness? Very good. Very good. And like other Latafas, I think this will get better in terms of performance as time passes. Bottle is great, presentation is great. Latafa really did well with these two. Going back to the Musamam, the dry down, ooh, like it got smoky now. Like I'm detecting a bit of a smoke, just a tad. Maybe that's that woodiness. Latafa, this is wonderful. I like this a lot. I like this a lot. On a woman, on me. Hopefully a woman would like this on me. I think you'd enjoy it if your guy wore this. Normally, I would have thought to wait a couple weeks so that this could mature. I don't think the scent profile will change so much. I think the performance will improve slightly. Maybe the scent itself will grow richer. There have been fragrances where I had a very bad initial reaction, and then when I came back to it a couple of days later, complete 180. I would say right now, this is a recommended. Strongly recommended, very strongly recommended. Oh. I haven't smelled Paco Rabanne's 1 Million for women, but I don't care dupe-wise. This on its own, it's a very good scent. Vibrant, youthful, but not childish or adolescent. So this is after about 2 hours. I went to have dinner, went to have my things, did whatever I needed to do, and let the fragrances get to the dry down. Now what I can tell you so far with regards to the Musamam, on paper, obviously it smells different than on skin, but it became smokier, just a tad more, became creamier, and that cocoa pulse started to really show. And as it got closer and closer to that dry down, the way I was able to describe it, at least in my head, is imagine if Blue Talisman removed the fruits, the pear, any citruses on the top, not all of them, but just enough, and replaced them with something more creamy, like vanilla-ish, and the cocoa. So this is like that vibe, whereas Blue Talisman has a blue vibe to it, but fruity. This has that vibe, similar vibe that I'm getting, but instead of that fruity pearish top, you get more vanilla and cocoa. This is more fall, whereas the fall and winter versus Blue Talisman's summer and spring. So this is leaning a little bit more darker, whereas Blue Talisman is brighter. So this is creamier, and that cocoa richness does come through. The only way I could really explain what comes to mind when I smell this is it does remind me, in a sense, in that space of Blue Talisman, except on the darker, more fall-winter side of Blue Talisman, of what that would smell like. Creamy cocoa woods. The Dalal still maintained that fruitness, but I started detecting a floral note in there, and that's when I started taking out, and I said, you know what, now I got to see the notes of this fragrance. And sure enough, it actually has one of my favorite floral fragrances, at least for women's wear. And there's jasmine. Now, I don't know what Liang Lang smells like. Apparently, it's more of a golden delicious apple. But there are fruits, there's the orange flower, and yeah, there is vanilla and musk and some oak moss. However, I'm not sensing that this is a woody fragrance because there is oak moss. There is fruits, and there's florals, and there's vanilla and musk. The way I guess I could explain how to relate this is imagine herba pura, tone down that heavy fruitness, and add more of the florals and a touch more of vanilla. That's what I'm getting with this. It has that herba pura-ish thing going on, but the jasmine comes through, and it's not really a fruit basket. It does have that honey crisp apple. I mean, it says golden delicious, but I felt it had that tart honey crisp sweetness to it. And I didn't so much get mandarin because it was too sweet and not bitter. So that's what they smell like in the dry down. I really enjoy both of these fragrances. This on a woman would be great. This for me, I'm very glad I have it. If you have these, share your comments, please. If you know somebody who you think would enjoy this, share this video with them. Thank you for watching. I look forward to making more content about fragrances, fragrance reviews, and more of my ridiculous unravelings. I hope to see you again soon.